Project Abraham, Part 3A. Part 3B is just going to be the discernment part of all the scripture and incorporating what I believe is the I can't say the well in the sense the Israelite birth of mighty men, you know, but we'll carry on and we'll keep it pushing. One moment. And it came to pass in the reign of Amarphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, that Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Targal, king of nations, made war with Bala, king of Sodom, and with Barsa, king of Gomorrah, and with Shinar, king of Adamah, and with Sibamar, king of Seboim, and the king of Balak. This is Segor. All these met or agreed with one consent at the Salt Valley. This is now the Sea of Salt. 12 years they served Kedorlaomer. And the 13th year they revolted. And in the 14th year came Kedorlaomer, and the kings with him, and cut to pieces the giants in Ashtaroth and Karnaim, and the strong nations with them, and the Omians in the city Save, and the Corians in the mountains of Seir, to the turpentine tree of Paran, which is in the desert. And having turned back, they came to the well of judgment. This is Kadesh. And they cut in pieces all the princes of Amalek, and the Amorites dwelling in Asethamar. And the king of Sodom went out, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Adamah, and the king of Seboim, and the king of and king of Balak. This is Segor. And they set themselves in array against them for war in the Salt Valley against Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Targal, king of nations, and Amarphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, the 4 kings against the 5. Now the Salt Valley consists of slime pits. And the king of Sodom fled, and the king of Gomorrah, and they fell in there, and they that were left fled to the mountains. And they took all the cavalry of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their provisions, and departed. And they took also Lot, the son of Abram's brother, and his baggage, and departed, for he dwelt in Sodom. And one of them that had been rescued came and told Abram the Hebrew, which means passer, and the brother of Eshcol, and the brother of the brother of Anan, who were confederates with Abram. So let me go ahead and repeat that. And one of them that had been rescued came and told Abram the Hebrew, and he had dwelt by the oak of Mamre. This is 1, the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol, 2, and the brother of Anan, 3, who were confederates with Abram. And Abram, having heard that Lot his nephew had been taken captive, numbered his own homeborn servants, 318, and pursued after them to Dan. And he came upon them by night, he and his servants, and he smote them, and pursued them as far as Choba, which is on the left of Damascus. And he recovered all the cavalry of Sodom, and he recovered Lot his nephew, and all his possessions, and the women, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him, after he returned from the slaughter of Kedorlaomer, and the king with him, to the valley of Sabi. This was the plain of the kings. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth loaves and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed Abram, and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, who made heaven and earth. And, he blessed be the Most High God, who delivered thine enemies into thy power. One moment. Under hand to thee. And Abram gave him the tithe of all. So it means he gave him everything that they came up on, that they took. One moment. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the men and take the horses to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I will stretch out my hand to the Lord, the Most High God, who made the heaven and the earth, that I will not take from all thy goods from a string to a shoe latchet, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich, except with things the young men have eaten, and the portion of men that went out with me. Eshcol, Anun, Mamre, these shall take a portion. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I shield thee, thy reward shall be very great. And Abram said, Master and Lord, what wilt thou give me? Whereas I am departing without a child, but the son of Maesk, my own homeborn female slave, this Eliezer of Damascus, is mine heir. And Abram said, I am grieved since thou hast given me no seed. But my homeborn servant shall succeed me. And immediately there was a voice of the Lord to him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come out of thee shall be thine heir. And he brought him out and said to him, Look up now to heaven, and count the stars if thou shalt be able to number them fully. And he said, Thus shall be thy seed. One moment, and by the word thus is the word Romans 4 chapter 18, but I'm not going to go there. And Abram, one second, the Hebrew, one moment. In Hebrew, the Hebrew Abram believed, because by the word it says and it means Hebrew, and it means that's the word it's supposed to be there is Hebrew. The Hebrew Abram believed God, and it was counted to him for righteousness. And he said to him, I am God that brought thee out of the land of the Chaldeans, so as to give thee this land to inherit. And he said, Master and Lord, how shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said to him, Take from me an heifer in her 3rd year, and the she-goat in her 3rd year, and the ram in his 3rd year, and the dove and the pigeon, all clean animals. So he took all these, and divided them in the midst, and set them opposite to each other. But the birds he did not divide. And the birds came down upon the bodies, even upon the divided parts of them. And Abram sat down upon them, meaning he drove them away. And about sunset a trance fell upon Abram. And lo, a great gloomy terror falls upon him. And it was said to Abram, Thou shalt surely know that thy seed shall be a sojourner in the land not their own, and they shall enslave them, and afflict them, and humble them 400 years. And the nation whomsoever they shall serve, I will judge. And after this, they shall come forth hither. They shall come forth hither with much property. But thou shalt not depart to thy fathers in peace. But thou shalt depart to thy fathers in peace. Nourished in a good old age. So you're going to die of old age. Don't worry. And in the fourth generation, they shall return hither, for the sins of the Amorites are not yet filled up, even until now. We're going to stop right there. One of my next videos, I'm going to have the Treaty of 1787 with the Moroccan people, and we're going to carry on like that.